and E is exhaust. And you will understand all three. Jiu-jitsu is so just as mental as physical. Okay, because you have to either have a plan or you're reacting to something that someone's doing. Right? So you're either being offensive or defensive, but you could also be defensive and turn that defense into an offense. Okay, right? For sure. So depending on the position, depending on what your opponent may give up or give you or you take, because you might be bigger and stronger than us, and you may have the opportunity to control an arm versus somebody that's my size. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's gonna be different. So every role is different, every practice is different, every drill is different, and there's also three things that you need to do. One is gain information. Information is this: talking, reading, watching. Okay, learning about who's in jiu-jitsu. There's so much content. Stick with the basics, especially a lot of the really good instructors that I'll send you links to. Just focus on the basics, because if you can really hone the basics in it, the rest is you just get after time, repetition. But early on, just drilling the basics, recognizing when you've been mounted and what to do as soon as you know that you're underneath somebody. Sitting there is not the answer, right? Or when you're on top of somebody, you're making sure that you maintain control and stay on top. And don't get reversed or swept to where now you're on the bottom or something like that. Okay, so it's a very mental game too. So you have to be very aware of your own body, but you're also your opponent's body. That's what they call it, the human chess. Because you may be thinking, after a long time of training, drilling, and understanding, and learning the moves and how they set up, and what positions, and what you can do, and what you can't do, and what you shouldn't do, that's when you start thinking 2 and 3 steps ahead. Right? I'm on the bottom. I want to be able to get from the bottom to their back. Right? Yeah. And that is going to involve various different moves or positions to be able to make that happen. But it's possible. But you have to have that. I've got to go from here to here to here to get that. That makes sense? Yeah. And then there's other times where you can just go from A to B and you got it. So it depends on the position, situation, strength, timing, speed, agility, flexibility, dexterity. All that comes into play. So there's things in the beginning, we'll focus just on purely just the basics. Once you get the basics done, then we can and it starts very early within jiu-jitsu, unlike other sports, where you start learning submissions relatively early, because you're in position to be able to submit people right away. It's just a intro game. That's why some flights are over in 15 seconds and others go 2 hours. We've been multiple hours, which is absolutely nuts. Two guys can go that long, at that pace, and it's submission only. And you only win when the other guy taps out, goes to sleep, or gets something going. It's really it. So, let me grab my cast. we'll do is, what else is coming up?
You like it already?
What's that?
Does he like it already?
Yes. Come on out, come on. That's it. Good boy, good boy. Good boy. That's it. He loves his butt, right? You love his butt? You're his best friend, seriously. Oh, yeah. Okay. First thing I'm going to show you is what is called underact. Okay, it's right here. Yep. Alright, so this is what's called a mount position. Okay, so this is the second worst position you can be in jiu-jitsu. The worst position is having someone down your back. For sure. Because there's only really one, maybe just a handful of submissions you can do from the front while you get somebody on your back. And it's that by them messing up, there's no way to do it again. Okay, so you find yourself in this position, what you want to do is create frames. Okay, so you want to use your skeletal structure, okay, versus muscle. Okay, muscle is going to tire you out. It's going to expend a lot of energy. If you're trying to push me off, right, and you use a lot of muscle, you're burning out oxygen and you're going to exhaust. The heart's right? You're going to get that incapacitated control of exhaust, right? Especially being a cop, right? A lot of opportunities when you're assholes, they just need just control, right? So use these as frames. Keep your elbows in. You don't want your elbows out because you don't want me getting hurt. Sure. You don't want your hands over your head. That's a bad spot for me to do because there's a few things that I can do to take them out or get control. So you want to remain here. So if I'm pushing here, you remain locked, shoulder, elbow, forearm, and try to resist that, right? While you're working, trying to use this arm, right, to either get an underhook, maybe push this arm, grab this arm, pull it away, right? You're using this arm, but you're trying to frame and remain as rigid as possible. Okay. Now, a way to get out of this, okay, is to what they call a shrimp. Okay, and I'll show you how to do a shrimp. Usually, you start out class doing shrimps just to warm up, just because it's good exercise, but a drill. But essentially, what you're going to do to try to get out of this position is scoot down this foot. Is what you got to do is, if I'm here, right, you're up, you're going to put both of your hands on one of my legs. Okay, so you're going to go 2-on-1, and you're going to push. First thing you're going to do is you're going to pull your heels to your butt. Exactly. Now, what you're going to try to do is drive your hips up to the ceiling, because my hips are connected to what? Your hips, right? So there's a connection, right? Connection is you always want to remain either connected or disconnected with distance that they can't do anything. There's two things. Either in close or far away, okay? Because otherwise you're just going to give them an opportunity to take you down, body lock you, get you down, and then possibly get on top and make you go. So heels to your butt, hips to the ceiling. So drive your hips up right now. See what you've done now is created space. Okay, now I'm up on my knees, my hips are up. Now at this point, we push this leg down and back. Right. You push it real hard, pushing it down. And at the same time, you're pulling that right knee and getting that leg out around my leg. All the way, yes. But you're bringing it up over my hip.
So what's that?
Up as high as you can around my waist. Exactly. So right now, this is considered half guard. Okay. So what you would do is you would drop this and then put that left leg over the right foot right here. So put your left leg up. And that's a triangle. Okay. So what you've done is created a triangle with your legs. Right?
Yeah.
Your back.
Yeah.
Got the triangle over there. This is what's called half guard. All right. Then ideally with this, you've got this, my left leg trapped. Okay, so you always want to be fishing for what's called an underhook. Okay, so you're going to go underneath my arm. Okay, and you're going to go up. You're trying to get up as close to me as possible. Okay, and the idea is this one, you're still creating that frame, right? You don't want to be out here because then I could do a submission on that. 3 different submissions just on that, just in this position. Okay, so you're going to remain it, keep that frame because I'm going to be wanting to be here. All right, they're really uncomfortable. Right? Applying a lot of pressure. Make you let that snap. All right, so that's why you want to remain heavy here and tight here to keep my body off of your chest. That's right. Yeah. Okay. So you're digging for an underhook on this side. Okay. And on this side, what you're trying to do is, if you can, get this one, right elbow, and push down with your elbow, and push my leg down. And then get your hand on right here, push that down, and now your left leg comes around my waist, and you cannot get around my waist and around my hips. Pop higher. Pop higher. There you go. Right? Because that's thinner than my hips. Right? Yeah. It's a shorter distance, so you can squeeze tighter with your legs. Now this is called the guard. All right. So this is bad spot for you, but much better than me being mounted on. Okay. Mount means there's very little you can do as far as submissions from the mount. Okay. There are some things you can do, but it's very rare. Okay. From here now, what you're trying to do is, what I'm trying to do is pass your guard. Okay, that's going to be my goal. I want to get out of this position. Okay, because you've got control of my body. Okay. So what you're constantly trying to do is control my hands. Okay. You can grab them. Ideally, what you want to do is try to get wrist control, either 2-on-1 or right, exactly, to control my arms. I can't be able to try to push your leg down, stuff it, or get the knee in between, pop the hips. Now I'm up and out. Right? Okay, so that's why you gotta squeeze as hard as you can, almost scissor your legs. So squeeze them together and almost push your feet opposite each other. Exactly. So you're squeeze, okay, and then connect your feet. So that's the guard. That's what you should do as far as pressure, okay? And I'm going to be trying to control your arms, so you're trying to control my arms. So it's essentially a hand fight at this point, okay? If you're on the street, you can grab a collar, right, and go into a choke. If somebody's wearing a hoodie, right, wrap the hoodie around. Oh, now I've got control. Now I'm making it very difficult for you. Right? So that's where you're going to be able to learn how to use clothes as a weapon or a tool to be able to control whoever you're trying to control. Okay. So we'll go from mount. Okay. So you're going to be mounted, right? So what you're going to try to do, right? Remember 2-on-1, get the half guard. Get the underhook on the side that you have the leg trapped, whether it's left or right. Okay. What I want you to do is to do 2 on each side.
So 2 hands.
So 2 hands to push down to get in the half guard. Okay. and then we'll recompose, do it again, 2 on the right side, and then you're gonna do full guard retention, okay? So you're gonna actually do both, like we just finished, you're gonna end up in a guard.
Okay.
Makes sense?
So just one.
Yeah, from now you're starting, right, here, I'm working here, you, remember, feet to butt, up, hips up, good. Now this forces me to do this, right? Now I'm off balance, exactly. And as soon as you do that, right, you're pulling that knee and wrapping it around my hips, exactly. So now we're in half done, so you triangle your legs like you did, remember, that left leg goes over the right foot. And then curl it, and squeeze, yeah, then you've got control my leg, okay? So ideally you want to maintain this connection, right?
Okay. So right after that, you connect them.
Right, you're triangling, you're actually going
All
here, yeah, where you're gonna try, but you want it deep. You want this leg deep over, okay? In real time. Squeeze that hamstring, right, exactly. Anytime that you've got your legs over your opponent's back or around their leg or around their head or neck, all you're doing is a leg curl every single time working the hamstrings, okay? Because that's where you're gonna get the choking mechanism is gonna be the hamstring and the squeeze that you're gonna create by squeezing that hamstring, okay? By doing that leg curl, okay? That's why it's important to stretch, do leg curls, get this as strong as possible because this is your hands down here. Okay, so use your legs as you would your arms. Okay. All right. So at this point, you've come here. You're digging for the underhook on the same side. Exactly. So you're going as deep as possible.
Like this far. Like this is good up here though.
I mean, come up. If I haven't come down to you, which is usually what's going to happen, I'm going to try to get underneath your head and go here, get down, and flatten you out. Okay, so what you want to do is be able to get on your left side. No, just get on your left hip with your left hip. There you go. And then try to grab my far right lat with this right arm. Go all the way around. Right, exactly. Now, ideally, what you'd like to do is get the head out from underneath this arm. So slide it out under. There you go. Now look what you've got. Now you can just get around and take my back if you want it. Okay, you just get on your left side, get on your left elbow, grab with that lat with the right arm. No, this one, you get on your left elbow. Right. And then you get up. Good. You've already got a hook in here. So you keep this there. Exactly. And then at this point, you throw that right leg over my back. Exactly. Right there. And that's now you're on the back. And now I'm in turtle. Okay. And then you're trying to get that right leg in between so you've got both hooks in so you can control your legs. And then you do an over and under, and I'll show you that. But that's ideally, okay, that's what I'm talking about when you're talking about steps in progression. Okay. The mental part of it. Where do you want to go? On the bottom, do you want to do an arm bar? Do you want to do a triangle? Do you want to do a kimura? Do you want to take it back? Do you want to just get into butterfly guard? Do you want to get into a worm guard? Do you want to get into going into 50-50 or a daily heat? These are all things you're going to learn that are different positions and moves to be able to set up a submission. Okay. So mount and guard are the two that everybody primarily learn first just because they are the base standards of one of the worst positions and a very common position when you're on the ground.
For sure.
Okay. A lot of times when you're rolling, like in class, if you want to roll with somebody, a lot of times somebody starts in the guard and somebody's on the back. Okay. So it's just get used to. And then you're going to find over time that you're going to do some things that you really do well and like on your back, and then some things that you really do well when you're on top position. Because they're different things. Okay. So you get into you mount me. So is it just like you're over, no, you're over my hips, okay? Right, you're trying to push, you're trying to keep your weight on my hips, right, exactly, right. And then keep your feet tucked in, exactly. Because if you get your leg out, right, see if this one is out, I could get it out here easily, shrink this arm down, and move you over, okay? And then now, I'm on top, you connect your legs because you're in guard now, right?
So it's all just a back and forth.
That's all it is, right? So, when you're in a mount, okay, you're trying to, ideally if you can, isolate an arm, okay? So, if you're back on top, what I want you to do is I want you to put your elbows together, right? And always keep them connected, right? If you've got your elbows connected to your hips or your waist, it's much stronger than if they were out here, right? Think about it. I'm pushing. Put them in your stomach down, right? You're not going anymore. Think about connection, okay? Now, you want to use that connection, right? And if I'm here, right, I'm playing good mount defense where I'm not giving up my neck, I'm not giving up the ability for you to get under my head, and I'm not leaving an arm out here, okay? Now, I may, right, try to raise you up to create space, but you need to move, as soon as you get in the mount, you need to have an idea of what you're gonna do.
Okay.
Make sense?
Yeah.
All right? And a lot of it, if I go like this, you're gonna go arm up. You learn that in the future, but if anybody that goes like this, they're basically giving you their arms to be able to break. Okay, yeah. They don't even know it's coming, but it's easy for you to be able to take somebody's arm, control them, and then be able to, you know, incapacitate them further where they can't do any damage to anybody. Okay, so that's the idea. So if you get in this position, what you're trying to do is you're trying to isolate one arm. Okay, so you keep your elbows in to your stomach and take both of your palms, right? Think hard. You want connection, right? Wrists, elbow, shoulders, all locked. And you're using all this body weight to put two hands on one arm. So 2 on 1, right? So what you're gonna do is you would, go over, right here, and over, right here, and keep your elbows in, right? And then use your body weight. Push down. Okay, so keep your elbows in. Keep your elbows in. Right? I'm going to be here. Right? So you're going to be really trying to, with this one, keep it in. Don't use the muscle, right? Use the muscle. Now use your frame. Right? If I've got it here, you're simply just going to come down. Don't lean it, just bend down. Right? And at that point, you're going to move your whole body to the left and push down at the same time. Now you've got one arm control, right? This still has to be
Wrapped around.
over, exactly. You want control of that hand, okay? So from this point, what you want to do is you want this hand ideally over. There you go. You're pinned to the ground. Okay. All right. Now you can also do it with this hand, which is
Like that.
you're gonna pin it that way. Right.
Both of them or just one?
Just the one. Okay. Just, for now, do both. Okay. So get 2 on 1. Both. And you're doing that. Just like you were doing here. Okay. We're using C-grips. You notice I'm using my hips. Right. I'm just not staying in one spot, isolated for you to do what you want to do. Right. So when you get on top, you come down. You connect 2 on 1. 2 on 1. Exactly. Yep. Get over.
How do you,
Right,
how should I keep it with my body? Like, I don't know
because then,
okay, yeah.
right? Don't extend, because once you extend now, you're starting to use the muscle. You disconnected the chain, okay? So just bring your chest down, right? And use that body weight to push right on. It doesn't matter how strong I am, because now if you use all your strength, I have to be really, really strong to be able to combat both of your hands and the body weight of your upper body. Makes sense?
Yeah.
Versus you just trying to arm wrestle me.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Right? So Right, so two on one, right? So you do an over grips on both, so you're coming down, and you push it, and you staple it, right? And remember, keeping your base low, because you don't want to get off balance and sweat.
So kind of just
Exactly. So
going to
I
the
did, so keep that body weight down, okay? So when you go 2 on 1, right? Push it down, staple it, now keep the body close to me here so I can't move, right? So you want my shoulders always flat on the ground, right? Once I get to a side, now I can create space, create an exit, get out, go to half guard roll, and just get out totally. Okay, makes sense?
yeah.
So as soon as you find yourself come out, if that person leaves an arm on here, you're taking it. Okay? But most of the time, if you're gonna have anybody do it, they're gonna be here. But you also have to expect this, right? Which is now you've lost now. Okay? Now you can extend, sit up, come up, and now you're on your back. You went from being on a mount to your back. Makes sense?
Yeah.
Okay, so you gotta remain that balance, okay? Think of it as, what is this? 4 points, we've got a table, correct?
Yes.
4 legs on the table, right? What is this?
3.
Which is a triangle, correct? Which is less stable than this, okay? So if you find yourself on this, or like this, you're susceptible to be moved easier than this. Makes sense? If you're like this, easier to move back and forth, side to side, upwards, with a butterfly. If you had both of your legs, both of your feet between my legs, that's called a butterfly. You'd be on your back, and you'd simply just do a leg extension while you're lifting your hips. And I start going this way,
Like,
up, over. Because
okay.
you're doing a leg extension, lifting me while you've got my arms trapped. And now my ass is over my head. I'm in trouble. Because you're going to sweep me, you're going to put me on one side, you're going to end up on top or side control or half guard, whatever it's going to be, but you're not going to be underneath your opponent. So, if I'm like this, I'm really screwed, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I can't think about balance on one, right? So, always connection. Connection with your opponent, connection with the floor. Okay? That's going to be able to maintain strength without using muscles. Okay? So it's balance. You're creating balance for yourself. Okay? So these are things that you can work on at home. You know, you can get, I mean, I've got a 200-pound stand on me, but you could also get the biggest cushion you have in the house and put that between your legs and work on just squeezing the piss out of your guard. You know what I mean? So you're pulling your knees up. So get my guard, I'll show you. You can have a low guard or a high guard. You're between that.
All between your legs.
Yeah.
So like this thing?
No, you got it. Okay, I'm wrapped around here, okay? All right, if I've got underhooks and I want to bring you forward towards me, all I have to do is this, okay? Now I've moved you forward. If I want you back, all I have to do is this. Now I can come up, get up on you. Now it's difficult because now I'm at 230 pounds sitting on top of you, right? Okay, so what I can do with my legs is the same thing you do at home with a pillow. Is just squeeze, keep here, and just work back and forth, okay? Back and forth. If you have a punching bag, you do the same thing, right? This is how you're going to be able to get a really strong guard by practice. It's muscle memory, right? It's just like, it's isometric, you're holding it, you squeeze it, do it for 20, 30 seconds, relax. 20, 30 seconds, relax. Because you want to be able to get that control and have that guy think, oh shit, this is good, fucking badass rock. You know what I mean? If you get somebody and you're on top, and you'll see a lot of you start training with people, you get on top and they'll have a guard like this. It's like dead fish. Oh, shit, this is what we do. No, but if I get somebody that's like this on me, that's very aggressive, I know that couple. He's working on something offensive. Right? So think of your mind. Right? What's happening at the time that is causing that? You know, think about in your mind what's happening at the time with both yourself and your opponent. Okay? So, mount, like I said, for a mount, you're working 2-on-1. So as soon as you find that you've swept me from maybe your guard, half guard, and your knee sliced, and now you're at a mount, right? Mm-hmm. So as soon as you get them out, what are you doing? 2-on-1, right? It's the first thing you learn. So as soon as you get it, 2-on-1, push it down, right? Put your body, good. Now you're stable, okay? Okay, that's you're controlling the side. Once you get it here, right? Next time I'm going to show you what you're going to do with the arm. There's 3 things you can do once you get it here, okay? You've got an arm lock here, you've got an arm lock here, and you've got an arm lock here, okay? So there's 3 different things that you can learn depending on which angle the arm and the shoulder are, okay? Very, very effective, okay? But you've got to keep concentrating on keeping your weight down, right? Applying pressure and connection, okay? Same thing on the, you can do it on that side too, that's fine. 2-on-1, yep, yep, you're going that way, yep, and you're simply right. Keep your elbows in, and there you go, you're fine, yeah. Yep, and all you're doing, right, you're going down, good. Good, yep, remember, you need your body weight on top of you so you're not up. If you're up, I'm simply just going to lift you, create space, and your knees off the ground. Back up, okay? And I'm looking for this. I'm out on top of you, okay? That's how fast it happens. Okay, so when you get somebody in the mount, you need to be offensive right away. A lot of guys get up there and they stall and take a break and they try to take a breath and compose themselves. You have to be in the mindset of, as soon as I get mount, I need to be offensive because I'm in an advantageous position and not lose a position. A lot of jujitsu here, position over submission. Not giving up the mount. You go for an arm bar, right? Which if you went for an arm bar, now you would be laying on your back with my arm between your legs and you're trying to break my arm, right? Yeah. But if I get out of it and end up on top of you, you've gone from mount to now being on top of you. Because you went for a submission, you didn't get it, and put yourself in a worse situation, position. Make sense? Yeah. So unless you 100% know that you're going to get that arm bar, keep the position until I give you or you force your offensive move. Make sense? Yeah. I might make a mistake, and you're working on. Go ahead. You're working on my arms. You're trying to work arm flying. Go ahead. Just trying to push them down here. Right. See, going around. I make a mistake, and all of a sudden my arms here. Boom. You get right underneath my shoulder. You're coming here. Right, you're keeping that arm, you're coming down on my chest. You're keeping, right, you're going actually underneath my shoulder, right. And you're isolating that arm like this, right. So now, if you wanted to, you could bring this arm into play, right. Now you've got this arm isolated, right. It's, the only thing I can do is hold on and pray, or try to, use one hand on your leg, and if you're very strong, you're going to go and maintain guard, and my arm is in jeopardy. Makes sense? Okay? So that's why when you're in mount, you need to be offensive right away. Okay? When you're in guard, that's where you're going to determine, based on what your game is or what your plan is, from the bottom once you end up in bottom. You will end up in bottom. A lot of guys love to start from the bottom. I'll start like this. And just move around and just move around on your butt, scooting, waiting for your opponent to come in. Because once they step in, they're grabbing a leg and going for a heel hook, or a knee bar, or a sweep. You gotta come down and then get on top of them and then become offensive. Okay, so we use that almost as a bait. Come on down. You know what I mean? It's like a boxer. Come on in. You know what I mean? Step into my zone so I can just knock you out.
For sure.
It's the same thing with jiu-jitsu. But if you've got a good top game, good pressure, good control, good solid moves that you can effectively use at a high percentage, those are the ones that you want to obviously maximize and use, right? And then you're going to gradually add things to your game. You're going to find that early on that you like to do this over that, or that over this, or I don't understand this, I can't do it, it doesn't register, I don't get it, so focus on something that you can do, learn it well. Okay, so it goes from information, right, which is what we talked about earlier, right, to knowledge, which is taking the information that you've learned. And if I asked you what the 4 steps to get out of mount is, once you were able to write down the 4 or 5 steps that you would take to get out of mount, then you've got the knowledge, right? Then you can take that knowledge and through drilling and practice, make it a skill. Once you've made it a skill, then you've learned it. Make sense?
Yeah.
And that's when you start to advance your game in jiu-jitsu. Just like anything else, right? So you're starting with information. You're trying to gather as much information as I said. I'm going to send you links to some of the best instructors in the world. Watch their videos. Okay? Some might be long, some might be short. Just take whatever you can in on a daily basis. And then if it's just 15 minutes you're watching, one short of just one move. Could be a takedown. Could be a back take defense. You know what I mean? But at least you're going to see it. And when you talk about it and do it, you're going to recognize and understand. Okay? So that's the information part. That's on you to learn. Right? Knowledge is you being able to understand all the steps of the move and then apply it and drill it. Or rolling, which is why it's fun. Okay? And that's where the skill comes in. Where you've taken that, all right, ready guard, I'm going. He puts his head on the mat, I'm instantly going for a Kimura or a sweep to get on top, one of the two, whether it hits, whatever I get out of it. And at that point, once I'm on mount, if I'm mounted, if I still have connection with that arm, I'm taking that arm. If he's gotten away and got good frames, or maybe his hands on my hips and he's trying to get offensive, be able to get out and get a half guard, right? Then I'm working the retaining mount, and then work on controlling his head, controlling his shoulders, controlling his arms, so he can't get out. Makes sense? Yeah. And then from there, I'm thinking, okay, what moves do I have from here? Where can I go? And it's always thinking about the step after that, I'm going to go here to get all the way around maybe to the other side. I could go this way, mount, or I could go all the way around from half guard, right, to side control, where you've got your whole body perpendicular to my body. You've got your chest on mine, my shoulders are on the floor. You're laying this way, and you're trying to attack an arm or a head, okay? Or you can go north-south, where your head is actually here, your body's here, and you're working on trying to get your arm around my neck, get my hand above my arm so you can arm triangle me, get me to roll over, right? So you can spin around and take my back. There's a multitude of different things that you learn what to do once you're in that situation. Okay, so do the homework, do the research as far as watching videos. Okay, so it becomes recallable. When we're talking about it. Mm-hmm. If you see something you like, want to try, looks good, think you can do it, you actually practice it at home. That's part of it too. You practice your craft at home. I'm videotaping. I'll send you the recording so you know what we did, and that way you can see. All right, I'm doing these steps at these times. Okay. All right. And the next time what we'll do is we'll work on. You learn how to get out of the guard, which is the upa, right? Heels and butt. Mm-hmm. Hips up, as soon as the hips up, and he's off the ground, I push him 2-on-1, getting on that hip, boom, wrapping that leg, right? I either triangle it or I get it up high because I'm working on the other side immediately to retain guard. Okay. So the 2-on-1 is important, okay? And when you're on the bottom, you've got a frame, right? Frame, don't give up anything, don't get your hands over your head, don't put your arms out here because they're gonna take it. All right, what you're trying to do is, again, feet to your butt and get out of it, okay? In guard, you're trying to hold that person in guard to either get out from underneath them, right? Which is fine if you're on the street, the biggest thing you wanna do is get up and out. You wanna be on the ground, you kick them head or stop, right? So you're trying to get out from underneath everybody as fast as possible, that's your goal. If you're just in a jiu-jitsu match or you've got one dumbass on the street, then you're trying to remain control, right? Incapacitate, control, exhaust. They're gonna be fighting their ass off and they're gonna tire out after 60 seconds because they don't do the shit that we do, right? And then at that point, you're gonna be able to just throw it on them, choke them, put them to sleep, and when he wakes up, you ask him, are you done or do you want to go back to sleep? You got two choices. It's up to you. What do you want to do? Most of the time, it's sleep.
Yeah.
All right, so incapacitate, right? Control, exhaust. Once you get them exhausted, then they start giving up the neck. Then they start giving up the arm. Then they start giving up the back. And the game's over. Okay? Control, right? Maintaining position over submission, making sure that you don't get yourself off balance to the point where you can be swept, okay? And then next week we'll learn variations from the mount and then also from the ground. Or whatever you can make it.
Yeah.
All right, sound good?
Yeah, I appreciate it.
All right, what'd you learn today?
Ice.
Which is me and Smut.
Incapacitate, control, exhaust.
Good. And then what moves did you, what positions did you learn?
Mountain, full guard.
Mountain full guard, exactly.
Half guard maybe.
You did get in the half guard with the mount escape, correct?
Correct.
2-on-1, wrap the leg,
Yep.
triangle, control, dig for the underhook, get your way out.